Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, we're good. We're good. Blowing and going.
I love it. We're having coffee together.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers. I love it. So today we're going to be asking Sarah some questions for a little coach interview. If you are interested in working with Sarah, this is like the perfect video to watch to kind of see what she's about, her personality, her coaching style. So let's get into it. Okay. Are we ready?
Ready.
Okay. Where are you located?
Yeah. So I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Texas.
Capital of the world. Yes.
I love it. How long have you lived there?
Oh my gosh, a long time. I went away for college and then came back. So we're looking at a good, 15 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Texas. I'm a Texas girl too.
I know. It's so
Um,
fun.
I love it. Okay, so tell me your MBTI type and your Enneagram.
Okay. So I'm ENTJ for my MBTI, and then I'm an Enneagram 9 through and through.
Ooh, peacemaker. Do you know what your wing is? Is it a wing one?
It's a wing one. Yeah.
I knew it.
I
I knew
know.
it.
I know. So
I
there you go.
love it. I
Yeah.
love those tests. I think they're
Well,
just so like spot. I mean, I feel like people either resonate with them or they don't, but the majority of people that I know like totally resonate with their
yeah.
type.
Well, and I find that you can resonate with so many types too. Like while I am like a 9 wholeheartedly, a lot of like the 3 stuff totally resonates with me too. And it depends like where I am, like if it's home or work,
Mm.
because like at work I am a little bit more of a 3, but like overarching, like I'm a 9, like my inner being is a
I
9.
love that. Yeah, I love that so much. Okay, tell us any hobbies that you enjoy doing.
Yeah. So I laugh at this question because my husband is the king of hobbies. And so he's got like every hobby under the sun. And I always struggled with like, I just don't feel like I have a hobby. But I've come to decide that anything that brings me joy is a hobby. So
Yes.
I love getting outside and walking and working out. I love being outdoors. So that's a hobby for me. I love getting my nails done. That's a
Oh,
hobby for me. I like watching Bravo. That's a hobby. So I just have taken on I don't really have like actual hobbies. Like I don't know why. I just don't. But I've taken on that anything that I enjoy that like is fun for me is a hobby for me.
oh yeah, we're redefining what a hobby means. I
Yeah.
love that because I think it's like hard to have time for, specific activities or
Yeah. All the
sports
time.
or things to
Yeah.
do. So I think I love how you reframe
Yeah.
that like literally anything that you enjoy is
Yeah. Well,
considered a
I struggled
hobby.
with it for a while because I didn't play a lot of sports growing up and I didn't, you know what I mean? Like do all those things. So I always kind of thought I was weird for not having hobbies. And then I was like, no, I do have hobbies. They're just different than everybody else's.
Watching Bravo is also my hobby.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's mindless and it makes me feel better about myself. So
Same,
it's a
same. I love it. Okay, let's get into some coaching questions. So, how long have you been with Blush for?
Yeah, so I've only been with Blush since February, but it came so naturally. I've been working as a school counselor for several years, and so I work with a lot of parents and families. So it kind of just seamlessly transitioned. But I love like this coaching aspect, and I love being able to do it at like convenience of people and meet them where they are. So it's
Yes,
been
totally. I love that. And what kind of attracted you to the helping profession in the first place?
Yeah, so I was teaching for a while, and I loved it. I loved working with kids, and I loved working with families. And so I knew, I mean, it was kind of into helping to begin with. But then I just found that I was so much more interested in all like the social emotional pieces. Like anytime a kid would come, I'd be like, oh my gosh, tell me more about that. Like I wanted to hear more about what was going on with their family and helping with their friendships and working with people there. And I just had some amazing counselors that I saw in schools that were just doing magical work that I was like, that's what I want to do.
Mm,
So I started going back and I got my master's and then I got my LPC and now I get to do it for lots of different people. So it's
I
fun.
love that. What grade did you teach and what subject did you teach? I'm just curious.
I taught kinder and first, so I
Oh,
was teaching. It was like the babies, yeah. But now it's so funny because I thought when I first got into school counseling, I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do with fifth graders? Like they're so big, they're going to think they're so cool, they're going to run all over me, but they are no different than kindergartners. Like they are absolutely no different than kindergartners. They act the exact same way. So
oh,
very
I
much.
I love that. I could totally, I mean, with the babies, if I like had a kindergartner kid that I was bringing in, dropping off, I'd be like, oh my gosh, thank God. I love my teacher.
Oh
You
my gosh.
know?
fun. It was really fun. And I still think there's no harder job than like the classroom teacher. I love being the school. I love being the school counselor because there's so much to do. Like you walk in your day and you have no idea like which direction it's going to go. And I love that. And I needed that. But I still think that, oh my gosh, classroom teachers have the hardest job. A
Yeah.
lot out of a lot.
Amazing. Really inspiring. I love it. What is your favorite topics, blush topics to coach on for your clients?
Yeah, so I really found it can be pretty much any. I mean, I love it all. I mean, there's really not a wrong topic, but I really do love talking about anxiety and mindfulness. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with just every facet of life, and so I really enjoy that. We've been doing a lot of work with like goal setting with my clients, and then of course I love talking about kids and families. And I mean, I do not have it all together, and I don't think I know any more than the rest because every day I feel like I'm failing as a parent. But I have two kids of my own, and then I also have seen lots of kids and lots of families in the work that I do. And so I may not have all the answers, but I've seen a lot of like what works and what doesn't. And I think it's just great for people to be able to let it all out and talk about it and just, kind of problem solve together and kind of work through it together. So
Yeah. And I think that you normalize, I mean, that's what's cool about coaching, at least like my favorite part of it is because we don't have to pretend like our shit's together, right? Like
there's nothing together. I mean, I would feel like I was just yelling at my kid like 10 minutes ago.
I love that though, because I think that we normalize so much for our clients. And so, I think that that's really cool that you not only play that role in your clients' lives, but also can just give them perspective too. Because a lot of the times when you're in something, you can feel so like blinders on. And so I think even just, I mean, there's so much value in talking just in general, but at least talking to someone who gets it and, has the education and also cares, like that's like the
Exactly.
perfect mix.
Well, and that's like the biggest thing. Like, I think you have to get it out of here. Like when it stays up here, that's when it just gets like totally discombobulated. Like it's got to get out.
Yes, I love that. Okay, tell us what your favorite thing is about coaching.
Oh my gosh, I just have loved it. Like I think I mentioned earlier, like I love that you can do it from wherever you are. So it's convenient, it's easy, and it makes it more you know like you're able to keep it up. It's not like you have a standing appointment on Tuesdays at 5:30. You have to find a sitter, you have to get out of work early. I mean, you can do it wherever you want, so there's the convenience of it. But I love that it's so casual too, because in my job, like at my day job, I feel like I had to be very professional, and not that we're not professional, but it's just a different casual piece to it that I think helps bring like the stigma of therapy and of counseling kind of just to like a more, like you said, like normalized level. So it's just casual and it's light, and it's just like you're getting it out and just getting it off your chest.
Yeah, I think that I mean, I talk about my relationship with my clients like we're all best friends, and it's really cool because it feels like you're like grabbing coffee with a friend when you're talking to your life coach. And so I love that casual piece too, where it feels so much more like, not stigmatized with, oh, it has to be this big thing and it's so much money and it's such, it's that can get really stressful very quickly. So
Well, and then adding the chat piece to it is so good too, because like I will see something and it'll make me think of a client. And then it's like, it's a constant, like I feel like we're in constant communication in each other's lives. And so it's really kind of cool because it's almost like a 24/7, outlet. And I think it's super cool. And I love being able to work with my clients like any time of the day.
Yes, I love that. When I was a client for Blush, and we had the journals, and it was just so nice to be able to like come home and I'm having a meltdown and I could just be like,
Yes. Oh my gosh, for sure. It's huge. Yeah.
oh,
Well, and that too, it's so positive, like in nature, that it's just like you kind of leave. Like my goal is like I want them to like feel energized leaving our sessions. Like that's how I feel when I'm done. Like it's hard for me to go to bed after sessions because I'm like, oh, that was so fun. Like, and that's what I hope for my clients too.
I love that so much. Okay, let's get to the next question.
Yeah.
What would be like your best coaching tip or something that you would want to say to a potential client who's thinking about joining Blush?
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest tip is just breaking it down. Like whatever the issue is, like that's kind of my go-to when we first are talking is just like, let's get it, like, what is it that you're here for? What are you looking for? Let's break it down. Because I think when it becomes manageable and manageable in pieces,
Mm.
it's so much more attainable. If you're thinking like, oh my gosh, 2020, well, we're almost, done, but 20, what I wanted by 2021 is X. And if you have huge lofty goals, you feel like you're failing all the time. And so I think
Yeah.
you've got to like start with whatever the problem or the goal or whatever it is and just break it down. And then from there we can tackle, the individual pieces.
I love that. There's nothing more overwhelming than just thinking of all of the things that you want to accomplish. And then you have this like feeling in the back of your mind that there's not enough time, because everybody feels rushed, and society, we live in a very rushed society. That's what I tell all my clients. I'm like, how they say like, there's not enough time, or like time is of the essence. Like we actually have a lot of time. Like there's so much time. So just chill.
Sandy, I know, but it's also like a non-renewable resource, so like the time you give has to be like what you want to give. And so I think that's a huge piece of like, don't be, be stingy with your time, be selfish of your time, because that is something that is yours and yours alone,
Yes. I love that. I love that so much. Okay. Tell us, we do a lot of self-care here at Blush. So like, what is your favorite self-care activity?
I know. Well, I probably named them in my hobbies because I'm lame. But yeah, no, I love going outside. Like I need to be outside. I love to like walk, like even see, like I'm not outside right now, but like I'm close to the outdoors. Like I need to feel it, but I love going on walks. I love like if I can get a massage or a facial, I haven't gotten one in like years, but I would love one if I could have one anytime. That would be my go-to. But yeah, nails, pedicures, going on a walk with my friends, happy hour. I mean, anything like that is just a rejuvenation for sure.
I wish we lived closer because we would be the best tag team. Like,
I
let's go get a massage and a facial and a pedicure and then get some wine after.
All of it.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. Do you have like a favorite quote?
Yeah, I was thinking, so I mean, I always go to We Can Do Hard Things, of course, because Glennon Doyle's amazing. And it's so, I mean, I say it with my kids all the time. I mean, we'll go on a bike ride and we'll get to a hill, and it's like my son will sit there and he'll go, we can do hard things. And I'm like, that's right. You can do hard things, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you can push through that hill on a bike, you can push through your test, you can push through a hard time, with family or friends. And so I think that's an amazing, overarching theme. But then I have to laugh too, because my mom got it from her grandmother, but my mom would always say like humans are more valuable than things, or people are more valuable than things. And so I think that's huge too in the world now, because we just have, our relationships are such a huge piece, and it's so much more important than, any actual possession. So
I think probably a lot of people took that for granted too, like the connection and just like intimacy amongst friends and family members. And then, you always take things for granted until they're taken away. And then you're like, come back.
Now with like social media and like everything, like I mean, you've got them cornered, you've got your ads on, they know what you want to buy, and it becomes such a possession world that it's like, it's so nice to be able to take a step back and think about people and relationships.
I love that so much. Okay, let's do a couple fun questions just to finish us off here. Tell us one thing that you cannot live without.
I know. Okay, so that was hard because I was trying to think of one thing. So if I had to do one, I would have to say coffee. But I debated between like coffee, cookies, wine, margaritas. Like,
my girl.
And then I felt bad. I was like, well, and my kids and my husband, like, those two. But, I kind of have a long list of things that I couldn't live without.
Oh, I love that so much. Can't go wrong with a marg or a glass of wine. It sounds wonderful.
It's hard to pick just one.
I know. I love that. Okay. Last question. And let's finish off with what makes you feel most empowered?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, as cheesy as it sounds, I mean, they drive me crazy, but obviously my kids, are huge. And so I just love like when I see them doing good things, or when I see those glimpses of just like kind heart, just when I see them interact to each other. I mean, it totally refills my system. So I definitely think, my family, for sure hits that. For me too, personally, I mean, I love productivity. Like I love feeling productive and feeling like I'm helping and doing good, and and in that kind of sense of a way. So I love feeling productive as well. I think that kind of pushes me to do more, and and want to keep going. So
I love that. Thank you so much for this. I think that this is so great. Thank you for sharing. And I
yeah.
think anybody who is watching this and who is thinking about working with Sarah, let me tell you, work with Sarah because she's amazing. You just have such a kind soul and just like radiate like
Oh,
gentleness and sweetness. And we're so happy to have you on the Blush team. So thank
yeah,
you so much for answering all these
yes,
questions.
yes. It was
All
so
right. Amazing. Well, have a great day. Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.